Hey everyone, and welcome to this deep dive. We're going to be talking about builder interviews today and how to absolutely crush it when you're sitting across the table from a hiring manager. We've got some really awesome tips that we pulled straight from Indeed.com.
Yes, they've got some great resources on their website.
Yeah, they really do. And it's a really awesome guide that we're going to be kind of picking apart today.
Yeah.
But basically, we're going to treat this like a cheat sheet and try to unpack what those interviewers are really looking for when they're interviewing for a builder.
You know what's really interesting to me about their advice
Hmm.
is that they go beyond just like the typical, hammer and nails stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they really emphasize leadership and problem solving and adaptability.
So it's not just about, knowing your way around a construction site.
Right, exactly. It's more about thinking about, building teams and navigating challenges
Hmm.
and making sure the projects run smoothly from start to finish.
So they're really looking for somebody who's well-rounded and can handle, all these different facets of the job.
Absolutely. And I think that's something that Indeed does really well is they provide specific examples to illustrate their points.
I like that.
Yeah, they have a whole section with sample questions and answers, and some of them are really quite insightful.
Let's dive into some of those.
Okay.
What are some of the questions that stand out to you?
Well, there's one that I found particularly interesting, and it asks about a time you had to fire someone.
Oh, wow.
Now, that's not something you typically associate with a construction job, right?
No, not at all.
But it makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because builders often have teams working under them, and sometimes difficult decisions need to be made.
Right.
So this question really probes into your leadership skills and how you handle challenging situations.
Right. And their sample answer really emphasizes handling the situation with empathy and professionalism, but also, adhering to company protocols. They even give a specific example and say something like, I had to let go of a team member who consistently disregarded safety protocols. I made sure to follow company procedures, had a private conversation with them, and clearly explained the reasons for my decision.
And I think that's a great example of how a seemingly simple answer can actually reveal a lot about your character and how you approach your work. Think about it. Safety is paramount on a construction site, right? So by highlighting your commitment to safety protocols, you're demonstrating responsibility not just for yourself, but for the well-being of your entire team.
So it's not just about giving the right answer. It's about showcasing your underlying values and how you approach real-world challenges.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And I think if you look closely at many of the other sample answers provided by Indeed, you'll notice a recurring theme. They're all about highlighting those essential soft skills like communication, collaboration, and client management.
Let's take another example. How about the question on budget management? I mean, that's got to be a crucial aspect of any construction project, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Indeed suggests an answer. Something like, budget management is an integral part of my role as a builder. I meticulously create and track budgets, constantly looking for cost-efficient ways to complete projects while maintaining quality.
So it's not just about staying within budget. It's about actively seeking ways to optimize costs without, compromising the project's integrity.
Exactly. And that kind of proactive approach is what sets a good builder apart from a great one. Interviewers want to see that you're not just following instructions. You're thinking critically and finding ways to add value to the project.
It's almost like they're looking for a builder who's also a bit of a financial strategist, someone who understands that, every decision has financial implications and is always looking for ways to maximize efficiency.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And that attention to detail, that ability to see the bigger picture, those are qualities that are highly sought after in the construction industry.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Indeed also provides like a bunch of additional bonus questions that are worth considering. Do you want to run through some of those quickly?
Sure, let's do like a rapid fire round.
Okay. All right, here we go. How have you handled cost overruns in a project? What techniques do you use to motivate your team? How familiar are you with green building practices?
Ooh, those are all excellent questions. And they delve into some really important aspects of the job. What stands out to you about those?
I think all of those questions really point towards the importance of adaptability, resourcefulness, and a commitment to staying current with industry trends. It's like they're saying, we know things don't always go according to plan, so show us how you handle those curveballs and stay ahead of the game.
I completely agree. The construction industry is constantly evolving, and these questions are designed to assess whether you're someone who embraces change, seeks continuous learning, and is committed to delivering high-quality work in a dynamic environment.
So we've covered a lot of ground, but we've really only just scratched the surface. There's still so much more to unpack from these Indeed tips. Are you ready to keep digging?
Absolutely. I'm eager to dive deeper and explore how we can help our listener translate these insights into actionable strategies for their upcoming interview.
It's amazing how much we can learn just from looking at these common questions and answers. It's like we're getting this little sneak peek into what it really takes to be a successful builder.
Absolutely. And what's interesting is that it's not always just about, giving the quote-unquote correct answer. It's more about using your responses as opportunities to really showcase your skills, your values, and your unique approach to the job.
Hey, so we've talked about, the types of qualities that interviewers are looking for. And we've even looked at some specific examples from Indeed. But how can our listener really take all of this information and apply it to their own interview?
Yeah, that's the key, right?
Yeah.
Turning this information into actionable strategies. So let's imagine for a second you're sitting across from the interviewer, and they ask you that classic question like, tell me about a time a project didn't go as planned. How did you handle it?
Oh, that's a tough one. I feel like that's almost guaranteed to come up in some form or another.
Oh, absolutely. And it's a perfect opportunity to demonstrate your problem-solving skills and your ability to stay calm under pressure. But instead of just launching into a story, it's important to take a moment and think about the message you want to convey.
Okay, so what kind of message should you be aiming for with a question like that?
Well, think about the qualities we've been discussing, right? Leadership, adaptability, resourcefulness. You want to show that you can not only identify problems, but you can take decisive action to address them effectively.
So how would you structure your response then?
Well, storytelling can be really powerful here. Start by setting the scene. Briefly describe the project and the challenge that you faced. You can say something like, we were working on this large residential project, and we encountered a significant delay in the delivery of some essential materials.
So you've laid the groundwork, you've established the context. What's next?
Then you want to walk the interviewer through your thought process and the steps that you took to address the issue. You might say something like, my first priority was to assess the impact of the delay and communicate it clearly to both the client and my team. Transparency is crucial in these situations.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody involved needs to be on the same page and understand, the implications of that delay.
Right. Then you can highlight the specific action that you took.
Yeah.
So, for example, I immediately started exploring alternative suppliers, negotiating expedited shipping options, and revising the project schedule to minimize disruptions.
So you're not just describing the problem, you're showcasing your proactive and solution-oriented approach.
Exactly. And finally, you want to wrap it up with a positive outcome. You might say, despite this initial setback, we were able to secure the necessary materials, make the adjustments, and ultimately deliver the project on time and within budget.
It's almost like you're turning a potential negative into a testament to your abilities.
That's exactly the point. Interviewers want to see that you can learn from challenges, adapt to changing circumstances, and still deliver results.
Yeah, I'm starting to see how every question can really be an opportunity to paint this picture of yourself as the ideal candidate.
That's the mindset shift we want to encourage, right? And instead of dreading these questions, see them as these invitations to showcase your strengths and your unique value.
Now, speaking of showcasing your value, it indeed really emphasizes the importance of researching the company and the specific role that you're interviewing for. Why is that so crucial in a builder interview?
Well, it all comes down to demonstrating genuine interest in preparation. It shows the interviewer that you haven't just applied to every builder opening out there. You've taken the time to understand their specific needs, their projects, their company culture.
So where do you even begin with that kind of research?
Well, the company's website is always a great starting point. Look for information about their mission statement, their recent projects, any awards or certifications they've received.
It's like you're getting a feel for their personality and what they value as a company.
Exactly. And if you want to take it a step further, research the people that you'll be interviewing with. LinkedIn is a fantastic resource for this.
Oh, I like that. A little bit of strategic social media sleuthing.
Exactly. Look for any common ground shared interests or even past projects that you can bring up in conversation. It helps you build rapport, and it shows that you're genuinely invested in the opportunity.
So it's not just about knowing the company's portfolio. It's about making a personal connection with the people that you're meeting.
Right? That personal connection can make a big difference, especially when you're trying to stand out from other qualified candidates.
Okay, this is all fantastic advice. We've talked about storytelling, showcasing your strengths, and doing your research. Is there anything else our listeners should keep in mind as they prepare for their interview?
There's one more thing I think is really important. It's something that often gets overlooked, but it can have a huge impact on how you're perceived. And
Go.
that's the importance of the
Okay,
camera.
you got me. What is it? What's that one thing?
It's all about showcasing your passion. It might sound simple, but it's amazing how many candidates forget to really let their enthusiasm shine through.
So you mean going beyond just, listing their skills and experience?
Exactly. Think about it. Building isn't just a job. It's a craft. It takes a special kind of dedication and drive to really excel in this field. And interviewers are looking for that spark, that genuine love for what you do.
So how do you convey that passion effectively in an interview? I mean, you can't just walk in and be like, hey, I'm passionate about building.
Right? It has to be more nuanced than that.
Yeah.
But it can come through in the way you talk about your past projects, the challenges you've overcome, the skills you've developed. Let your excitement show when you're discussing the details, the problem solving, the collaborative efforts that go into, creating something from scratch.
That sense of pride and accomplishment.
Absolutely. And it's not just about talking the talk. It's about demonstrating that you're constantly seeking ways to learn and grow in your craft. Maybe you've taken extra courses or attended industry conferences or experimented with new techniques. Those are all signs of someone who's truly passionate about building it.
So you're going above and beyond just meeting the, requirements of the job. You're showing that you're invested in your own professional development.
Precisely.
Hmm.
And that kind of attitude is contagious. It can inspire your team, impress your clients, and ultimately lead to greater success in your career.
So it sounds like it's not just about having the right skills and experience, but also having the right mindset.
Yeah, I think that passion and drive can really set you apart from other candidates.
For sure. Well, this has been super helpful. I think we've given our listeners a lot to think about as they prepare for those builder interviews.
Absolutely.
Any final words of wisdom before we wrap up?
Yeah, just remember, let your passion shine through. Share your enthusiasm for the craft, your excitement for tackling new challenges, your dedication to building things that last.
I love it because at the end of the day, it's that passion that fuels the long hours and the problem solving and the collaborative efforts that make building such a rewarding profession.
Well said. And with that, I think we've equipped our listener with a toolbox full of valuable insights.
Absolutely. So much great advice today, from understanding what those interviewers are really looking for, to crafting those compelling narratives and showcasing your strengths, and of course, that crucial element of passion.
Yeah, and don't forget you've got that fantastic resource in Indeed.com to guide you further.
Exactly. Use their tips, practice your responses, and go into that interview with confidence.
Yeah, we're rooting for you.
We are. Now go out there and show them what you're made of.
Oh, all right, that's it for this deep dive. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep building